Okay, so just a quick heads up. This video is not going to be covering anything that's normally posted on my channel. It's related to Comptia, basically an IT certification. If you're not interested, you can click off the video now because it will just be me ranting, and I do use strong language in this video. Thank you for your time. Have a good day, and see you soon, I guess. Hey, what's going on? Today's video topic is going to be like not relevant to the footage you're seeing in the background. I just want to talk about my experience taking the Comptia A+ Core 1 exam. I have to say, the material that I study from and the test itself is like pretty mismatched. You're going into the test with just your brain. You have no clue about the format, and then the way that the questions are phrased is very dissimilar to the CertMaster or practice exams you take from the official Comptia website. Overall, I would say the experience is not good because so I flag about 20 questions on the test, and then I work my way down to 9. 11 of those I'm pretty sure I got it right, so I unflagged them. But when I go down to the remaining 9, I'm like, this either I don't know, which is my fault, or this is like in the textbook, but it's like so minor and not important to the like overall theme of being a IT technician. I don't find it relevant, you know. This test, I think you just have to take it with a grain of salt, knowing that you're gonna have at least 2 to 3 questions that are just like, what the fuck, why is that in the exam, you know? In terms of PPQ, classmates have been telling me that they had 7 PPQs. My personal experience is that I have 6 PPQs, so I have 1 less. Now that's not really a good thing because less PPQs means that points are gonna weight it more. You have to like have less wiggle rooms in terms of how many questions you could get wrong. I did get lucky though. I had like what I feel like 2 of the easiest PPQs imaginable. A printer PPQ with 4 choices, like basically like 4 drop-down windows and 2 options that I could choose from. And then another one that was pretty simple and straightforward was like network wires and like what type of connectors be putting on there and how you're going to terminate it using what type of network tool. It's just like the test, I felt like, again, it's really unfair because not only do you have the knowledge being tested, but you also have your like English grammar comprehension or reading comprehension being tested. If you want to take this test and you know you suck ass at English like I am, I would say just be ready. Be ready for like a world of pain. The way they format these questions, like they shove unnecessary words. So let me present you this question, right? A sample question I'm gonna give you real quick. If I tell you like, hey, if I have multiple users in a virtual machine doing whatever they want without affecting the production line, and I give you the choice of SCADA, embedded systems, sandboxing, you'll be like, why is the word production in there? Because you know, SCADA is for manufacturing pretty much. Embedded system is also like for controlling manufacturing machines. So they just toss in a random word in there when the key focus is actually just virtual machine. They intentionally add in misleading words in there. In no world would you have like somebody say, oh, I want a fucking lobster on a sandwich in a fucking water park. You know what I mean? Like you would not go to the water park and ask for a goddamn lobster on a roll. Like what the fuck are you doing? Or better yet, you go to a fucking farm and then you ask for somebody to like bring you fucking planks. Like maybe they do have planks, but why the fuck would they have planks on the fucking farm? They will have animals and vegetables and plants. Why would they have planks? I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not upset because like I passed the exam, but like I feel like it's unfair. As I've complained over and over again, this entire exam is extremely unfair. What my schedule looked like was basically I studied every day for an hour only because I don't believe in extensive studying. I just do an hour of studying, which I treat it as homework. And I also like learn the material 8 hours a day in a dedicated, you know, school program. So overall 9 hours. I spare 9 hours a day to learn this material. I did some quick calculations though. I only had about 211 hours dedicated to Core 1. People who are extremely fast, they probably could finish it in 3 weeks. I finished it in 4 weeks. Somehow people could finish it in 1 week, but I don't think those people are like new to the field. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt as well. What materials I use, I end up just using Messar. I didn't watch as many of his videos as recommended by my instructor. I ended up just looking at Messar's notes and Messar's practice exams, and I ended up just like Googling like Quizlets. And if you know the website WordWall or WordFall, they have a lot of good PPQs on there too. Like it tests your understanding of connectors and like components. I did use the Comptia CertMaster to prep myself with their practice, like domain specific practices. I think that helped a lot. Without that, I feel like I would be fucked on the tests. Even those practice tests, they have so many things that are not covered in the textbook. It's like, what the fuck? Like, my original intention was not to include this many rambling, but I just want to get my like feedback out there, you know? Because if you're gonna make somebody pay $230 something plus tax to take your exam, you should make sure your practices like reflect the exam you're going to give to people, you know? So you skimped out on like PBQs, because like in the practice exam you have 3 fucking PBQs when the real exam has 6. What the fuck's up with that? Like, yeah, you make it up for multiple choice questions, but like you just add 10 additional multiple choice questions. That's like what, a slight increase from like 64? Like, bruh, at least make it like 100 multiple choices, you know? And what's ridiculous is that these people are so fucking lazy in their prep material. Like, they don't even change the terminologies at all. So they just create like a selection of options, right? And they craft the questions around it. They don't go the other way where they make choices around the question. So how does that work exactly? Like, what's confusing about that is that I could ask you like weirdly formatted questions, and then you have to look at weirdly formatted options. Like, how do I explain this? Okay. So imagine I buy a chair, a gaming chair, and then I build a fucking gaming computer around this gaming chair. Like, A, what sense does that make? B, what the fuck? And then like you have to choose like 3 varieties of gaming chairs to match my gaming computer. Whereas like, dude, didn't you make this computer based around the gaming chair? Why are you fucking making me choose like what type of gaming chair it is? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it, bro. Like, I'm so glad that I passed, but I'm just so fucking fed up with this dipshit ass like exam. Best part, it's 2 core. So there's another core of it that I have to look forward to, which I hope to fucking finish within the next month. I also ended up making a cheat sheet for Comptia Core 1. If you're interested, let me know. I could share the material with you. Just to give you a heads up though, I could be wrong. It's all from like the textbook with my own personal interpretation. So take that as you will. Devices with 2.5-inch form factor can vary in height with 15mm, 9.5mm, 7mm, 5mm. Alright, so tell me why in America you're using fucking metrics. Like, I get that it's for manufacturing and like, you know, like hardware specific bullshit, but do you realize we're in America? We should be using freedom units. Now, if you can see this image, it's basically me complaining about the way that this thing is like formatted. Any normal human being will format the first question as what house internal components, comma, provide input-output functions, comma, and external storage. So the problem with this first question is that it's fucking asking for all 3 traits. It's not asking one of each, you know? Because or implies that, oh, it could be either or, right? It could be any of those. So like technically with that question, all 4 of those options would be right. Because like all of them does one of those things. And their own explanation is pretty fucking shite. It supports the idea that, hey, the fucking question was actually asking for what house's internal components, provide input-output functions, and external storage. All 3. They're asking for all 3, but the way that the question is phrased is asking just one. Now let's move on to example 3. In this question, right, it's basically saying what type of wireless communication utilizes air as its data transfer medium. Now, what is 802.3? It's Ethernet. What the fuck is Ethernet? It uses RJ45 connectors. It's those things that literal fucking Ethernet cables that you plug into your PC or your switchboard or whatever, patch panels. Now, what is 802.11? That is fucking wireless. Wireless motherfucking communications. Now, this is like annoying as fuck, because like if you read the end of that question, it says, you know, with electrical signals per pulses of light, what standard do cable-based copper and fiber local area network uses? So really, they're just asking for like a cable connection, like a local LAN connection. They will not be using wireless. So either way, it's like, why are you asking me wireless stuff when you're just asking for wired? I mean, I don't know. We got more examples. This one is kind of weak because like I'm shit at explaining. Example 4. All right, so what's wrong with this? It's more of a reading comprehension problem for me. Like, however, the flyer does not seem to align symmetrically. What should they check? Align with what? You just tell me there's a fucking flyer. The flyer does not align symmetrically to what? Dude, if I fucking shove my fist into this fucking test maker's mouth, it's not symmetrical. You know why it's not symmetrical? Because I didn't get to rearrange his guts and pull it out horizontally so that it's parallel to the ground symmetrically. Anyways, fuck that fucking piece of shit. Question 5. So again, same problem. Why are you using metric units when we're in America? Like, this one is pretty simple and straightforward because like 20 degrees is like normal operating temperature for most computers and PCs. That's like around 70 degrees maybe. That might be too high actually. But we know that like the maximum that a CPU should go to is 40 because like that's fucking melting. That's like 80, 90 Fahrenheit. Question 6. Now, this problem, let me see real quick. So I'm not complaining about like the choices I made. I'm more complaining about their explanation being so shit. Again, this is a $230 test, and this is how they provide their explanations. Check that the battery is properly seated in its compartment. All right, what does that affect? Touchscreen, right? So if you don't have a battery, your touchscreen is not gonna fucking work. All right, I'll eat it. I got it wrong. Let's see the explanation. A properly seated battery in the battery compartment will not affect the function of touchscreen. Now let's read that question one more time. Check that the battery is properly seated in its compartment. So let me ask you this. What happens when the battery is not seated properly? So you're telling me if it's seated properly, it should not affect the touchscreen. That is correct. But if it's not seated properly, doesn't it fucking disable the touchscreen, you fucking nincompoop? So let's put it this way. Oh shit, I'm about to choke. Let me put it this way. If I build a nuclear reactor plant, right? And I say my fuel rods are placed correctly, and then I say, oh yeah, the plant is running. But then you ask me like, what happens if the fuel rods are not placed correctly? I'll say, oh yeah, but the fuel rods are placed correctly and it'll run properly. And then you look at me like I'm fucking retarded, which I am, because like, I'm not telling you what you're trying to look for, which is what happens if I don't put the fucking fuel rods in the right spots and activate it regularly. You want to know if it fucking explodes or there's a safety failure program that stops it from blowing the fuck up, right? No. Comptia, we don't do that shit. We don't let you know like the what ifs. We don't tell you what you want to know. We tell you what we want you to not know. That's right. It doesn't make sense.